even know.
Show me the good news, ain't it? Just show me the good news.
Advances in Canthan technology have yielded a fusion of firearm and longsword. The Gunsaber. Only a dedicated, highly trained warrior can handle
This one looks
such
like
a
the coolest
volatile
one,
weapon.
trailer-wise, I thought.
Gunsaber attacks enhance the Bladesworn's
I don't know, I like the LE. Might be
allowing
biased.
them to use their meditative dragon trigger. In this state of calm and concentration, they
That looks
can
cool.
load their Gunsaber with magically imbued cartridges that
Maybe it
power
is a
up their
banana
attacks. With their Gunsaber sheaths, they wield offhand pistols to maintain their flow.
Alright, let's
Alright.
do it. This is the Bladesworn. So currently got the Gunsaber, kind of Gunsaber activated. We have a pistol, a couple.
Oh, look at the UI above the adrenaline. F1 and F2. So that's a good sign so far. I don't know if you lose your actual real weapon skill burst, but we'll see. The UI looks cool. I'm liking what these skills look like, but let's see.
So first things first, the Gunsaber is kind of a little bit different from a lot of the more transformation-based kind of extra kits that we've seen in the past, stuff like Celestial Avatar, any sort of Death Shroud, or like Photon Forge, for example. These are all kind of gated behind some sort of resource. And the Gunsaber is not. It is just effectively a separate weapon. And so one of the trade-offs for this character is that while you're in combat, your weapon swap is actually going to be disabled, because the understanding is that...
Wait, while you're in combat? Why you laughing? Why you laughing?
Because that's like so counterintuitive. Why would your weapon swap? Why would that be off when you're in combat?
They just what's it called? They soul beasted us. You can only have one weapon plus this thing. I'll have more to say about that after seeing what skills this actual blade thing has, but let's see.
Your secondary weapon is always the Gunsaber. Once you get into combat, you'll see, all right, I'm starting to build flow because I have this buff that says positive flow.
Oh, it's
And
passive.
we'll see some other ways to get access to this buff in higher stacks. Obviously, there's still some warrior skills that just give you flat adrenaline, some traits that give you flat adrenaline. Some of these things have been modified to fit into the flow system, where some of them will actually give you increased flow rate instead of a flat adrenaline boost as they have in the past. Positive flow is building up. Eventually, I'm going to get to 100. This will go a little bit faster as you use some of the utility skills or the traits that give you access to more flow. But once you get to, this goes up to 100. Once you have enough flow, you can enter what we're calling Dragon Trigger. So once we get into Dragon Trigger here, you kind of get into this prepared
That looks cool as shit.
That did look cool.
stance, and you're ready to draw and unleash the power of the Gunsaber. And so you see, it took about 5 seconds to fully charge these charges. It's going to drain every half second. It'll drain 10 and build up to that maximum of over 5 seconds of maximum damage. And this is really going to allow you. There's going to be 3 different flavors of Dragon Slash. We'll start with the.
So I can hold it as long as I want? That's actually so cool. You can mess with people with your timings if they think you're about to do something, and then you just,
So I'm going to
That's
cheat
fine.
real quick and
I
give
mean-
myself guaranteed critical hit, so we can really show off how much damage this skill is going to do. Charging this ability for like 10 seconds, right? Or 5 seconds, sorry. But we built up a lot of adrenaline. All right, I got my vision sigil from out of nowhere. Impressive. But let's see how much damage this skill is actually going to do when I guarantee crit. Remember, this is a heavy golem, so about 2600 armor. It's not an ambient creature. We're not going to do any nonsensical things there. But all right, we're going to unleash Dragon Slash.
24k. Anyways,
25,000 damage, that's actually way too low. And I actually am on the wrong equipment set where I don't actually...
he's got no armor out. What? How you doing 24k with no gear?
Let's get a real number in here. I don't know if I'd recommend this build. This is just some damage multipliers in here. Give myself some offensive buffs. All right.
What did this guy just do at the bottom of his bar?
He's just giving himself all so that he can just like show off something that will never happen in real play of any
know.
mode.
Let's see what we get here. I'm firing this off. We're going to see...
No, that was like 340k, I think.
347,000. Yeah, but that's not.
350,000 damage. Okay, that's actually a bit lower. There's some variance in weapons. I've seen about...
Like, obviously, it's got the problem where it takes forever to charge and everyone's just gonna dodge it. But the good thing about this is where it has at least some CC combo setups that you could maybe make. I don't even know, actually, with the way how this works. But at least you get to release it whenever you want.
The key thing to note here is that this scales exponentially with the number of charges. So if I fire this off very quickly after, we're going to see...
Oh, okay, yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. You can just let go of it whenever you want.
Okay, that only did like 2,000 damage because it was only a single charge. And
But
it's
then
gonna
you're
build
not
up
able to use other skills while you're building them up, right?
No, if you're charging, you get to you're staying still or whatever.
Yeah, so you'd be like wasting time not doing damage. That's why I'm kind of confused on that.
Yeah, I don't know what the range is either. It looks like it's pretty close range, so I don't know. Let me try and read that. Prepare to use Dragon Slash. While channeling, you drain flow. So you're trading flow for charges?
You're trading the bar at the bottom to fill up the bullets.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of like, you know, memes, damage, high numbers, that's Dragon Slash Force. So that's the first kind of, this is the purest damage version of Dragon Slash.
I didn't notice he was pressing 1 afterwards.
Yeah, he's pressing.
I thought he was just letting go of the burst.
No, he was using skill number 1.
Okay.
So like, okay, it says minimum damage 1,500, maximum damage 47,581. What's the thing? What's the thing above unblockable? What's that say?
Oh, it stuns too. What? No, oh my, no. It stuns. That means it's gonna do no damage in PvP because of their new stupid rule.
Because World v World too.
Yeah.
I doubt. I think they'll make an exception for this.
I don't know. They haven't with anything else yet. Headbutt.
But
still
this
hasn't.
is like this is like the skill. This is like the class mechanic. They're not gonna.
It doesn't matter. Headbutt was too. For Berserker, and that was supposed to do damage. There's traits surrounded around it doing more effects.
True.
This is about to be really stupid.
We'll see.
This does the most damage. But then we also have kind of the next two. We have Dragon Slash Boost, and we have Dragon Slash Reach. And so Boost is going to have kind of...
I think I saw stuns on both of those too.
And so Boost is going to have kind of this dash attached to it. We saw this in the preview video. That's going to do a bit less, only 119,000 damage. Obviously, I don't have like the super collection of PvE buffs anymore. But similarly, damage is going to fall off. The damage is going to fall off even more for Reach, which is going to be the ranged version. And this is going to fire off a piercing projectile that can line it up, hit a bunch of targets. But the damage is significantly lower because there is, you know, less
risk
with these.
Yeah, stun duration per charge.
Damage is going to fall off. The damage is going to fall off even more for Reach, which is going to be the ranged version.
Yeah, damage is going to fall off completely for PvP.
See a couple other skills in here that are not Dragon Slashes, and the idea is that you're kind of forced into this stationary gameplay, so you're very susceptible, very easy to run away from as well. So we have Trigger Guard here, it's going to give Aegis.
They give Aegis to Warrior. Holy shit.
Get an incoming attack. Pretty reasonable. And then secondly, we're going to have Flicker Step.
Oh, what the? Hold on. They just gave Warrior a teleport? Excuse me?
Blink to a location, but it's 300 range, so it's not really
okay, yeah, they have, okay, whatever. I didn't look at the range.
It's 40-second recharge.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, they didn't give Warrior teleport. That's like against the rules. They made it shorter than leap range and then said, here's your teleport you've been complaining about not having.
Very, very short distance teleport. It's not going to be as exciting as Mesmer Blink or Lightning Flash or anything like that, but it gives you just a little bit of extra mobility while you're in Dragon Trigger. So you can kind of chase something.
Oh, how much range is a dodge?
It's probably like around that.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with this if it wasn't 40-second cooldown, but I mean, you're probably not going to be in this mode for too long anyway, so you can still do some things with it position-wise, but yeah.
Down and then fire slash. So next we're going to talk about the Gunsaber skill. So moving into the Gunsaber, and one thing we're going to see with the Gunsaber is that because it is kind of this mandatory weapon, you always have to have this equipped, it's going to be a little bit flexible. It's not going to be like a hard glass cannon weapon. It's not going to be anything too specific toward anything. It is very much a power-focused weapon, as we're also going to see on the pistol. But it is going to be a little bit more flexible because we're going to have some range. We're going to see a little bit of defense, a little bit of mobility.
Nice, that's good.
Just starting off with the auto attack chain, we have kind of this pretty standard 3-hit combo. The only kind of extra at the end is that we're going to see this explosion skill fact on a few other Bladesworn skills as well. There's going to be traits that play off explosions for this character. So moving on into next, Blooming Fire. This one's going to be, again, more damage. Nothing too crazy. Melee range, you can move while you cast this. A little bit of extra reach as opposed to some of the skills that with similar behavior where they kind of cast in place. Moving into Artillery Slash is going to be a ranged, nothing too crazy again. It's going to be cripple.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I still have Light Specialist equipped, so you saw the immobilize there, but that's not.
That's actually pretty good.
I like the animation. I like the way it looks.
Yeah, it's 900 range. That's good. It's faster than throwing a sword at them, so that's good. Does more damage. I believe.
It's a cripple too, and it's 900 range cripple. That's pretty good.
It's also ammo too, so you can do it more times. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty good.
A little bit of chase down or a little bit more kiting potential as you kind of cripple that enemy. And then we're going to get into a little more the utility side of this kit with 4 and 5. Cyclone Trigger. This is kind of a dual mode.
It blocks missiles apparently. AOE,
physical attack
yeah.
as well, where if you cast this from range, we're going to throw a projectile at these guys. But if you're a little bit closer, you're going to get a more powerful melee attack, and that's not going to double hit you. And this is also a projectile block, so this is a good opportunity to play around. Say, rapid fire is incoming, block the rapid fire, also throw a projectile out, deal some extra damage there. And finally, we're going to have Break Step. Pretty similar mechanic to Rocket Boots on Engineer, where it's going to kind of do this blast in place at your starting location, and then you're going to dash a little bit further away. So it's going to set up the rest.
And it's ammo. I'm liking that. Lunge forward with explosive force. Gives you fury. That's good. Where it
You
doesn't.
get to evade while you dash, or no? I mean, that.
This one does not. I don't think. Range is 450. Okay, I thought it was longer than that, but.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yes, since it's ammo, it's pretty good.
Pistol kit. Starting here with Dragon's Roar. This is the big damage payoff. 6 ammo, but the way the skill works is that it fires all of your ammunition every time you use it. So you cast it with 1, you cast it with 6. It's going to give you a variable amount of damage. You saw that we got 6 separate attacks because we had 6 ammo. So maximum DPS from the skill is going to be maximum ammo, makes sense. But you do have the opportunity to kind of press this button. And there is a trait that's going to give you a little bit of extra value for spending ammunition. So there might be opportunities where you just want to keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5 every 5 seconds as that comes off cooldown.
It's so far. It's like it's all right. It's kind of just damage though. Like it all depends on what the 4 is, because it probably is still better to just take a shield or something. But yeah, we'll see.
It's going to synergize really well with Gunstinger. Here's the 4 skill. This is a little bit of mobility. It's pretty short dash. The 300 range here is a little bit misleading because that's more of the dash range, and you have the melee attack at the end here.
Aegis though.
they made it a melee attack. They gave us a pistol and they only made one of the skills ranged. It's 3 seconds Aegis. Yeah. Oh, it reloads. Okay, I see what you're saying. So using this reloads 5, so you can.
But it takes 3 to use it, right? Because ammo.
No, restored.
Oh, oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry.
So you can't do 2 full pistols in your face. I'm probably not using that though, because if your other weapon has to be the Gunsaber, then you need a defensive slot here.
The next damage skills from
the
rest of your abilities.
Yeah, it's either gonna be like axe shield, sword, warhorn, depending on your trait lines, and then I might just do fucking longbow again. Greatsword, longbow. Rifle's still trash, so I mean, I would just.
Yeah, rifle feels slow to me, so yeah.
I don't know if anything in here will make it more usable, maybe, but I don't think pistol's gonna see that much use.
So if we fire off Dragon's Roar, dash back in immediately, we're already back up to 3 ammo.
3.
Wait a little bit,
That's
get
what I'm
the 4th
saying. You
ammo,
did 5.
and fire that
You have to
skill
hit
off again.
5 first.
And
Yeah.
that's
Then you
going to
hit
be
4
kind
and
of
you
like
get 3 back
the
from that.
burstiest version of the combo is spend 6, dash back in, spend 3, and that's a lot of potential damage from the pistol offhand. So starting with combat stimulant, here's the heal skill. The way the skill works, we're going to see a smaller initial heal, and then we're going to get this buff on. It's called Stim State. When this expires,
That's so bad, but let's see how it gets better.
so the way the skill works, we're going to see a smaller initial heal, and then we're going to get this buff on. It's called Stim State. When this expires, it's going to heal me again. There's a
The
big
second
heal
part's
on
instant, yeah.
So
Yeah.
a little bit harder to use. You're going to want to kind of precast this a little bit earlier. Make sure you have enough time to buy that 5 seconds for that to fire off. Alternatively, you can have the opportunity to recast. If anyone who was reading the tooltip while I was hovering on this, you see that if you cast the skill while you're already in stim state, it's going to give you boons instead. So you have the option to kind of trade off healing for more damage. Pops this, pop it immediately. Again, I get quickness, I get vigor, I get fury. Very powerful offensive boons, and vigor on top. Dodges are always good. But that's going to kind of lose the secondary heal of the first cast of that skill. You'll still get it from the second one, but you give up the big heal of the first cast in exchange for boon.
I got some news for him as soon as he hovers over that again. I need to check one more thing.
There's a
Full
decision
tip.
point there if you want to maximize damage or you want to maximize sustain. Just want to maximize sustain, you're probably going to fire this off, wait for it to go, sit
Okay.
around here, 5 seconds, 5.
Oh, get to wait 5 seconds? So you're at 3.2k for 5 seconds if you were low damage, or if you were low health.
I have a shield up.
This heal was trash. I was gonna say that it also has no cleanse, so it's double trash. It's gonna do nothing for me in the freaking greenhouse gases, freaking litter on the ground state that PvP's in. You're taking mending here if you're traded for it. There's no reason to get this again. Let's see if any of the other utilities cleanse at all, but we'll see. Throw a device that explodes when it lands, which leaves behind a barrier that blocks projectiles.
6 seconds. Leaves behind the barrier that lasts 6 seconds. That's not too bad.
It only blocks projectiles, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like,
You know what else blocks projectiles?
a lot of skills.
Regular shields, regular offhand sword. This is no one's gonna use this.
Similar, we've seen like wall reflection in the past. This is a little bit different because it's only a projectile block. And the little bonus on top is that it's also going to be an explosion.
Oh, it's a
with little
block.
bit
It's
of
not even
damage tacked
reflect.
on. So this is going to be useful in those big Wova fights, PV. Maybe you care about projectiles every once in a while. The explosion is going to be a little bit of value for kind of upkeeping those traits that care about that. Moving on to electric fence. We'll throw it out here. This is going to be a kind of cripple wall. This is something that we've seen with like temporal curtain on Mesmer Focus, and if you actually space this properly, it will hit stationary targets.
Increase flow rate and gain stability. Oh, that sounds like it's pretty
nice.
good. It's not a stun break though. Is there no stun break? There's one more utility
Not
left after
so-
this. The increase flow rate and gain stability. If you already have stability, gain additional flow rate. 5 seconds of one stack.
6 stat, yeah.
Jesus. I guess it's since it's ammo, kind of.
Then next up we have flow stabilizer. So this is the first skill that we're seeing that's going to increase.
If you're taking this again, you're taking it instead of Bull's Charge because it's not a stun break, and then you're using it for like stability stomps or something, or just clutch stability situation, which is kind of useful. But then you don't have Bull's Charge, so it's going to depend on what. I guess maybe this new spec doesn't need Bull's Charge, possibly depending on how, because you got a bunch of other stuns on your Dragon Trigger thing. But yeah, it's going to depend on how that plays out.
This is going to give me 2 stacks of the buff. It's also going to give a little stability, but if you already have stability, it's going to give you a bonus stack. So again, this is an option to kind of fire these off back to back. Already have stability, fire this off again, I get 3 stacks from the next one. Finally, we're going to get into the stun break. This is
All right,
Yeah, okay, stun break.
Evade backwards while dropping a mine that cripples foes. The skill recharges Dragon Trigger. Okay, that's something.
pretty standard kind of backwards roll into plus evade frame. It's going to drop a mine there that does a little bit of damage if one of these enemies was kind enough to run over it. Unfortunately, they're all stationary golems.
So this stun break.
You could take this and shake it off, and the one flow skill, and Worldy World, and you'd have like 2 stun breaks.
Well, I'd rather use Endure
But then you
Pain
would.
as the other
true.
stun break.
I forgot about that.
So with this, you're either using 3 stun breaks
No.
by taking this.
You want to take the flow one. That's what I'm saying. You probably want to take this and the flow. I don't know. Like I said, that flow one could for the mechanic. If you wanted to do the mechanic, you probably want that one that was before this one with the flow.
You probably don't absolutely need it to that degree. I'm sure you can survive without doing all that
Yeah.
stuff. Just how like Weaver doesn't use the damn attune everything to fire
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think I'm using utilities again. Unless the Elite's amazing. But let's see. At least everything else looks cool and it seems in-depth enough without having to use this. So it's not like Willbender where it literally just felt like Core Guard with cooler movement virtue skills.
Finally, we're going to get to the elite skill. There's only one skill fact here. It's nothing like the Harbinger elite that we saw
30-second cooldown.
about a month ago. with,
Reload
everything in the
ammo
game.
on all your
nothing
personal
like that.
skills. That's
But
pretty
this
good. But the ammo reloaded's only 1. Well, that's true. So basically, if you used all your skills, it gives back 1 ammo to all your skills for all. I mean, that's pretty good.
Like, assuming I'm not using pistol. Oh, the Dragon Trigger stuff, I guess. Elite is kind of easier. Like, I don't need Rampage. So I might be able to use this. Let's see how he sells it.
This is a very line of text, and so it says reload ammo on all of your profession skills. Any warrior skill that uses the ammunition mechanic, which is most of these armaments utilities, we see a lot of skills in the Gunsaber. Obviously, like even throw axe, shouts, dragon's roar, all of these skills use ammo. And so what tactical reload says is any of these skills that are not a full ammo are going to get +1 ammo. And so that is kind of absurd because, I mean, we just ran through, obviously you could just have rifle too, which has a bunch of ammo skills. That is potentially a lot of buttons getting essentially a full charge back. We saw a bit of longer cooldowns here in the Gunsaber kit, like here's 25, 35, 40 even, 40. But that is because tactical reload exists as kind of this option to chain all these skills together, use up all my ammunition, fire off tactical reload, fire off all my skills again, and just create this really potential high burst opportunity.
For me, this elite only competes with Signet of Rage anyway if I'm not using Rampage, or if I don't feel like using Rampage. So I can kind of fit it if I wanted to. I'm mostly thinking of using it for, like, I don't know, Shake It Off, and then I guess the Gunsaber stuff. If you're struck while in Dragon Trigger, gain protection. 4 seconds, not bad. Oh, it's after you get struck. I would have liked if it gave, like, Aegis on activation. Wait, gain ferocity for a short duration while when you hit with an explosion. This effect stacks. Oh, only in duration. Okay, so it's 250 ferocity. So it's 3 seconds each time it triggers. All right, I get it now. 250 is pretty good. Yeah, because it's not gonna be hard to get an explosion off. So that actually gives you some flexibility in rune that you take. You could probably do some demolisher stuff. And there's a couple other traits that you can get to stack. Basically, you could simulate Zerker Amulet by being Demolisher with a few adjustments.
This is a stacking ferocity bonus every time you hit with an explosion. So we saw a lot of explosion skill facts across all the skills when we were going over those earlier. This is going to, each time you hit with one of those, it's going to stack this duration up longer and longer and longer. Starting with reverse flow, incoming healing increase. And also, whenever you heal yourself, increases flow rate. Next up, we have Swift as the Wind. So this is movement skills grant.
Movement skills grant swiftness and increase flow rate. I like this way more already. One of my complaints recently on Warrior is I was noticing how cheap they were with the Fury, and swiftness. Like, it got nerfed. Like, swiftness almost doesn't exist at all.
Are you talking about movement skills like Greatsword 3 or 5?
3
Are
and
they talking
5.
like that? Okay, yeah.
Leaps, all that. It's 5-second cooldown, but the swiftness is 6 seconds, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, swiftness, Warrior needs swiftness, especially if they're most of the time like full melee. As a full melee spec, I'm confused as to why they cheaped out on the swiftness so hard. Well, it wasn't always like this. It was from nerfing the elite signet. Yeah, February, whatever.
And swiftness, so flow rate increase. So this is going to play really well.
I'm taking this so far.
Just
See,
Warrior.
I'm just thinking so much on World v World thing. I'm going back to Condi things. Where Condi cleanses, Condi conversion is so fucking big. Like,
What chess scenario do you got for swiftness?
no, I'm just saying, or if you're gonna be like, okay, I have all this shit, I'm gonna rely on swiftness, and I'm gonna get the swiftness uptick a lot, then like you're basically gonna get crippled a lot if you have swiftness up. I don't know. Melee in a melee thing. I don't know.
Cripple doesn't bother Warrior that much.
Okay.
Or Immobilize for that matter, but yeah.
And so again, just having more and more movement skills is going to give you more and more flow. So we see a little bit there on
I'm
break
off
step,
with
2 ammo there.
swiftness.
Actually,
here.
yeah,
Pop
that's
out, where
good.
we do like Savage Leap, get some more flow, and so on and so on.
That's a way easier way to get flow than
Yeah.
the healing thing.
Especially if you're going
Finally,
to
we're
get
going to have
Greatsword.
Unseen.
This is the last one. Swapping weapons strikes all nearby foes. 600 damage. That's pretty good. But
Actually, this is a 4-second cooldown.
what's the cooldown between swapping into the Gunsaber since it's not a weapon swap? I didn't see if there was a cooldown or not. I couldn't remember. I don't know if you could just go into that anytime. Well, I guess
This one might be better than the thing because look, if you
not.
were in World v World, I'm thinking competitively. If you're World v World or PvP, you're always gonna be hitting shit, right?
no, it's still
And
not.
this, you don't think?
No, because swiftness is needed way more. Weapon swap, that's every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
at
but
best.
this has the lowest cooldown. So basically, you can keep a constant flow up on this as long as you keep hitting people. If you imagine World v World in your Zerg fight, or if you're in like a field fight, or if you're in like whatever fight, you're gonna constantly be hitting people, and you're gonna for 5 seconds get flow. But if it's 4-second cooldown, like you can keep flow up more constantly. I think on this one.
I don't even care about the flow rate as much as the swiftness on the other one. The swiftness is way more needed than, and this damage is on a delay, so it's gonna be weird. It's not gonna feel good. It's all giving you essentially flow,
Yeah.
the same amount, but just through a different method. So I'd rather take the swiftness because that's another thing that Warrior
Gives you
needs.
something else, yeah.
Sword, and so this one is going to grant you positive flow every time you swap weapons. Small radius kind of AoE damage attack around you, and also the positive flow rate. So nothing too crazy, just another flavor of flow generation.
I think it's hacking, so I couldn't see any weapon swap
Yeah, I
cooldown.
know. I did. Yeah.
I was looking for one, but
Moving into the master tier slot, we're going to see
Oh,
rewards
barrier.
for using ammunition.
You get a
Use it.
barrier when you're your last ammo thing. You get a barrier. Oh, that's a lot of barrier. There's no cooldown.
that's 1-3. Oh, actually, yeah.
Oh, That's pretty good.
No cooldown is what makes this better. 1,300 isn't that much, but because of the no cooldown thing. If you use tactics trait line now with a sword warhorn, then you get barrier off of the warhorn too. So you can potentially make a good barrier build out of this, maybe.
It's Unshakable Mountain, barrier. Nothing too crazy.
There's no
Defense.
cooldown.
I
That
want
is
defense. I'm
crazy.
gonna get a lot of defense because I'm gonna be firing off.
235 skill he's
Demonstrate
showing right now.
real quickly.
Or the
There you
hill,
go, a
or
little bit of
anything.
barrier there. Similarly, next up we have Fiercest Fire. Instead of barrier, this is gonna give you kind of an AoE strike.
Ew.
I mean,
What is that? Burn foes in the smoke. That's a minor.
It just is a little.
A little bit of damage, more specific.
This
more
miner's
importantly,
better
it's
than that.
converting.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of damage on top of that. So just another way to kind of get more.
All right,
burst potential.
using the final round of ammo on an ammunition skill
Ooh.
reduces the recharge
not
of
bad.
all equipped skills.
No cooldown, so basically, yeah, you can like.
Oh, it's only no,
Oh,
it's 1
the-
second. Screw that.
But if you hit like.
Nobody fights like that.
Okay, I'm just thinking.
No one's gonna
scenarios.
go
Alright.
use shake it off twice without getting stunned just to use the ammo
Yeah.
to
I
reduce
don't
the
know.
cool.
I'm just saying it technically could happen, but
It's-
yeah.
Well, the
It's
highest
barrier.
upside, I
You go
think,
barrier
of
trait here.
Any of these is going to be
Definitely.
Lush Forest here in the bottom, which says using the final round of an ammo skill recharges the cooldown of all of your equipped skills. So this is also just super powerful because I mean I'm not going to spend so much time pressing all these
I'm
abilities.
gonna
and
heal
see the
being
maximum value of the
cooldown.
skill.
I
You
mean,
guys
if
will
you
keep
use
your hand on
like
it.
different.
Wait, he's trying to sell
different-
how it's super powerful.
So you can have a full bar of ammo skills, a lot of shouts, a lot of rifle, and potentially get a lot of cooldown reduction.
A lot of
from that
rifle.
skill.
Oh god.
And then finally, we're going to see in the Grandmaster trait slot some Dragon Slash.
Dragon Slash heals you for.
What's Dragon Slash again?
I think it's either the number 1 from that stance thing. I can't
this
remember.
is, yeah.
Oh, percentage of the damage dealt. That makes sense too. 8%. That's.
Not bad.
I don't like skills like this. Where,
It's gonna take so long. I mean, you can't like spam that skill. So I mean,
that's what I'm
it's a
saying. That's why I don't like
small.
skills.
That's like a
skills
weird
this.
to be an elite because of the cooldown on that. Like, okay, you get a small heal.
8% too. That's you need. This is like when they first introduced the Berserker and did Blood Reckoning, their heal, which requires you to hit the enemy to get, which is more than 8% by the way, and that skill is trash.
Alright,
It's
this
like
this
worst heal in the game.
percentage.
What's 8% of 350k or whatever the hell?
No,
you
but
guys
in real life, you know,
I know.
in real area, it's gonna be like 14%, right? Or 14,000.
Wait, didn't it stun? You're gonna heal 8% of 23 damage. I'm looking up something here for a second. Because I'm pretty sure Sun and Moon style on Spellbreaker does the same thing. Critical damage, oh, it's critical damage. Critical damage to healing 7%. So I already have a taste of how much healing that's going to be. And Sun and Moon style stipulation comes up way more than what this thing is going to be.
Yeah, don't take it, people.
Yeah, it's trash.
As we saw earlier, if you're hitting something for say 400,000 damage, 8% looks
You're
like a lot
not
more of a-
hitting anything for 400,000 damage. You
He knows, he's trolling.
he's trolling. Yeah, I think he's trolling.
The whole room
I don't-
has weird humor. They got some kind of PvE humor or something.
It may-
If you
may
hit a
seem
spark
like this.
fly or a frog,
Just a little bit
okay.
more of a sustain option. Take a lot of incoming pressure while you're charging up Dragon Slash, get a lot of that back.
Yo, what if, when in World vs. World, if you're getting ganked, you just run over quickly to a rabbit.
I guess we'll see a little bit more offense at the bottom, so this is maybe not the most aggressive, this is the most gear.
Dragon
Okay,
Slash
so
becomes
unblockable.
that's way better.
That's
Unblockable ignores blind. Ignore that's huge. That's way
Oh.
better. And stuns on hit. Ah. So is this why it was stunning before? Because he was traded. So in a weird scenario of February, post-February world, we might have to not take this trait if we want to do damage with the damn skill.
I like this one because yeah, and also the stun.
The problem
Yep.
is, yeah, the
You
problem
have
is,
to take. You have to take this one.
but it might do 0 damage now.
That's right.
Guaranteed
Maybe the third one's
of
better.
Dragon Slash ignores blind, little stun on there, also unblockable. This is just going to allow you to kind of unleash the most threatening version of Dragon Slash.
Is it the most threatening though? If it's gonna do no damage, CMC.
Daring Dragon. And so the interesting thing here is that you see it immediately adjusted our UI. We can only charge 5 times. We can still build up 100 flow, but we can only build up to 5 charges. And so what that's going to mean is we get up to 100, charge it up, maxed out, we're going to fire that off. And if we still have flow left over, I'm a big cheater, so I always have flow left over. So you're going to re-enter Dragon Slash, or Dragon Trigger rather, and then you can charge it
You only
again,
need 5
use
instead of
the rest of
10.
the
That's good, right?
potential.
It seems like it might be a certain, like a similar deal to how Deadeyes don't use the trait that gives you the extra malice. It's better just to do the faster burst on less malice or whatever. It might be like that.
Oh, so you might be able to access it more, but you'll do less damage. Okay.
Yeah, but
You won't
in
do
the
nice
realistic
damage,
world,
okay.
it might be better to do it this way anyway, is
Yeah.
what might be happening.
There's also going to be a little more valuable in PvP, potentially, because of the kind of different scaling of the Dragon Slash build-up.
I'm either going to stun, but unless it does no damage, then I might not, because I can just stun elsewhere. And then this one, this trait for the lower bullet cost or whatever.
It's a little faster and then falls off a little bit harder in PvP and in World v World, just because it's a little bit harder to justify staying in place for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So a little bit more upfront.
Now remember,
and a little
yeah,
bit more
'cause
fall
you-
off at the end, but it will continually give increased damage as you charge that up. So that's all of the Bladesworn,
Alright, let's
all
go
the
like-
Bladesworn traits.
With that, again, there's like, the whole spec has nothing to do with Condi, except for the ignore blind thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna take quick AFK.
Yeah.
Refill drink. Be right
Alright, yeah. So my thoughts on this is it looks like you can do a few creative synergistic things with the old trait lines with this, but I don't think he went over the warrior sprint and stuff like that. I think he still have to take discipline. I assume that it's just it just acts like just a second weapon anyway. I think they were just trying to avoid us having 3 weapon swaps. So if you like this more than greatsword, then you take this. You got some mobility on here. You don't have an evade attached to it, so you lose out on that. I think this is look, I wouldn't take this and greatsword, and most people shouldn't either. If you're complaining that you can't land 100 blades, then you essentially don't have a reason to take greatsword anymore, which means you technically don't have to take strength trait line, but then if you want mending, then you take strength anyway. See, this is the problem.
You talking to yourself?
No, I'm talking to my channel. What do you think this is? I'm not crazy.
I didn't hear you.
I was giving my thoughts on like the builds that can be made out of this, but yeah.
Oh, I missed all the good stuff. Okay, well, I'll see you in the replay.
Well, I wasn't done, but yeah, I was just saying like the different trait lines that you can do with this and the whole weapon swap thing. There's looks like there's some fancy stuff you might be able to do in this spec, because of the mechanic. Seems like it's way more deep than Berserker and Spellbreaker as far as possibilities and like combos and little tricks that you can do with it. So
Oh yeah, get movement skill weapons as well for that one trait if you take it.
yeah, so I'm excited to try this one
Yay!
for sure. I'm not gonna be able to touch any of the other two because I think there's enough here.
I'm gonna play Ellie, so have fun with the warrior.
Yeah, so I guess this looks like I'm. Wait, do I like this more than Willbender? Yeah, I'd have to say yes because Willbender is just core guard with.
So you just basically did core hard.
Yeah, the way I was playing it, I still had fun on it, but yeah, if this looks better than I thought it was gonna be. Like even with the utilities not being touched, it ends up way more fresh than the Willbender without the utilities. Yeah, I gotta play around with the trigger stuff. There's probably some stuff in there that's pretty fancy, but yeah, they're gonna do Ellie next, so
Yay!
yeah.